Welcome. This is session 9, when Jacob and Joseph are reunited, of our study on Joseph, God's faithfulness in the waiting. In this session, we're going to really see the heart of Joseph and his forgiveness and how deep that really goes. Joseph is able to reunite with his father Jacob. Remember, he's also called Israel. And again, there's going to be a lot of crying. A lot of emotion comes up in this story. Towards the end of Genesis, in Genesis chapter 50, Joseph has already been able to bury his father. He gets to go back to his homeland, bury his father, and then he comes back and we look at the end of Joseph's life. So after Joseph's dad has died, his brothers get freaked out. They're like, man, what if Joseph is holding a grudge? What if he really hasn't forgiven us? Is he going to retaliate now that our dad is gone? And this is Joseph's reaction to them. So this is out of Genesis chapter 50, beginning in verse 19. But Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So then don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children." And he reassured them and spoke kindly to them. So after everything Joseph had been through, he still refers back to that this is all because God had a bigger plan. He's able to notice that while his brothers did intend evil, that God used it for good. That's an amazing thing. He truly forgives his brothers after everything that had been done. And then Joseph goes on to continue to live in Egypt. But in his final words, he remembers God's promise of what God had promised to Abraham, to Isaac, to his father Jacob. So let's take a look at that. This is in Genesis 50, beginning in verse 24. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "I am about to die, but God will surely come to your aid and take you up out of this land, to the land he promised an oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And Joseph made the Israelites swear an oath and said, "God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from this place." So Joseph died at the age of 110, and after they embalmed him, he was placed in a coffin in Egypt. So we know that Joseph ends up dying in Egypt, but he doesn't want his bones to stay there. So this week in session 9, you're going to do your homework to finish out the end of Joseph's life here, but hang tight because in session 10, we're going to investigate where his bones end up.